Okay, this is my, see, sorry, I'm just a little distracted right now. Wait for a few people to get on, but, so, let's see if I can, just a minute, sorry, so, this is my first live stream I haven't been able to do over time with my broken tablet. I have never been able to do and also since it wouldn't input for some reason, haven't been able to do a live stream on that. I over time I haven't been able to do a live stream on this, but now finally seems it's in bold correctly, and I'm able to do a live stream now. So doing my first live stream for a little bit. So yeah, I'm just wanted to maybe chat with you guys to see how you doing, what's been going on, and um, we'll talk a little bit about the trains I've been catching and what trains have you guys been catching as well. Um, I know my voice probably sounds shitty right now, and part of my language, but yeah, part of my voice it is bad. And if you hear anything in the background, my apologies. That is my little brothers. They are always very annoying. While I do love them though. Let me see if I'm not sure if. No, that's not the right one. I'm trying to see if I can share my screen. Not sure if that's possible, but let me see. Let me see. Nope. I guess not. I can't. I'm sorry. Looks like I can't share my screen, but anyways, I can still talk about trains I've been seeing. So, as you all have probably known, a few months ago, at the beginning of June, CSX has officially taken over Pan Am Railways. And yeah, there's plenty of reasons why actually. Pan Am, I mean, I'd say probably has some of the most nicest trains and equipment in the world, really, in my opinion. And also, it's been a railroad I have been related with for a long time. It's been around since the time I was born. And before that, it was Guilford as well. Still has some of that equipment as well. And it does have some friendly employees. But the thing is, Pan Am just isn't a real great system. They've had to shut down some useful lines. They've been losing employees. I'm not sure what's the next one. They've been losing money. I've been hearing them going bankrupt. And they've been delaying the Amtrak Down Easter. They can't maintain their track well because it's really expensive, of course. It's probably why they shut some of the lines down. My guess is, like usual, I'm not a huge professional though, so I could be wrong about that part. But yeah, whatever happens, I just hope CSX be a better operator. You know, I do hear that though they're um on the SAPI job, the usual SAPI 3, SAPI 4, there is a CSX GP38. I think it's number 2548. Um, Yeah, but even though CSX paints makes it sad to see, even more sad to see Pan Am go. But hey, at least it's an EMD, and I really like the EMD. The EMDs meaning electromotive diesels. I kind of like them better than the General Electrics, to be honest. And my favorite EMDs would be the Jeeps, really. Uh, and yeah, and Pan Am's actually scrapped and, or at least put away a lot of Jeeps. They've even scrapped uh, a really nice one, still painted in Guilford, and had an RS5T number 334. That was put in the deadline last year, I think. Yeah, and a couple months ago has been scrapped. Um, Not sure what happened with the RS5T, but yeah, and also sadly all the high hoods got scrapped as well. I do hear that they are too hard to maintain, those Jeeps, but I feel like they should have maybe just kept them just in case for a possible another chance for them, you know? I mean, they've scrapped some of the C40-8s they used to get from CSX, but not all of them, but I mean, I like the C40-8s. Like, they're always cool, no hate on them or anything. Like, they're very powerful as well. But yeah, like I said, I like the EMDs and Jeeps way better. Um, let's see what else. Uh, yeah. I wish I could screen share with you guys, but apparently for some reason I just can't. Um, oh hey, somebody finally joined. Hey, how's it going? Hope you're doing all right. Vin's Real Fanny Productions. Um, so yeah, yeah. So surprisingly, CSX engines have made up as far as Waterville so far. At some point, though, I'm trying to make it to Bangor. Um, another 50 miles. Um, what I've also been taking pictures of when I'm not able to go rail fanning since I live in this town called Hollowell. Through here is the old Main Central Lower Road I have mentioned before. Um, I believe it was a shorter route between Portland and Waterville than the back road, because the back road went through Lewiston Auburn, made it maybe like another 10 extra miles, or not that much longer, but yeah, still technically longer than the lower road. And it runs through the lower road runs through the state capital, Augusta, and through downtown. Uh, yeah, right now the line has been out of service since 2008. That's my best guess. That was the most recent rare picture I've saw of a Maine Eastern excursion being one of the last trains on that line. And now the tracks through downtown Augusta have been covered up with gravel to be used as a parking lot just southwest of the bridge and right before the Kennebec River Rail Trail starts along um, the track. Sorry, I'm stuttering. My brain is kind of out of it. Um, yeah, the trail goes alongside the track between um, yeah, Augusta to Hollowell, and then splits off and then starts again. The south end of Hollowell goes to Gardner. Um, I do like walking on it and all, but like usual, I will always like the tracks better than the trail. And a sad thing is, I don't know what will happen. I'll just have to see and wait. I just try to stay out of it and stuff, but yeah, trail lobbyists are wanting to rip out the track and for trail from Gardner to Brunswick. Um, there's an option of rail and trail, or only trail rather than just the rail option. That's kind of unfair, even though rail service is more expensive than I know, of course. I'm still trying to get to the former Gardner station for some Portland and Western, I think you mean. Well, which Gardner are you meaning actually? Is it which state is it in? Well, speaking of that, there is an old station. Oh, in Massachusetts, yeah, yeah. I really want to go down there at some point because around there, there's a lot of traffic, a lot more traffic than there is, to be honest, up here in Maine. Um, and that's I really want to go down there at some point. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, there along the lower road in Gardner, there is this old railroad station. I'm not sure if any of you've seen it before. It's now a medicine and herb store, I think. Um, and then south of there, hello, Down Easter Rail fan. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining. And then south of Gardner and Richmond, one of the bridges was removed a few years ago, I believe, after some trailer trucks hit it. Um, I think there was, I'm not sure. I think there's this commissioner. Some commissioners don't really know his name. Don't know much about him, but he said um this guy, but he said that it's not a big deal. When you get ready for a train, we got the bridge, we'll just drop it into place. Well, I mean, you could, but I don't really know how you would drop the trestle into place. I think you would have to rebuild it though. um and yeah, and then the lower road continues on until Brunswick, where the Amtrak Downeaster currently terminates, which I know is your type, of course, Downeaster rail fan. um and there is still talk about trying to get it to the Downeaster to Rockland, but for some reason it's just not getting anywhere close. So I hear Finger Lakes Railway is taking over the Rockland branch. Will try their own commuter service and see what happens with that. I mean, that would be pretty cool, actually. And they're still trying to get the Downeaster on the lower road if they can revive it and repair it. If they can stop the rail trail plan, or at least try to do rail and trail system. Um, I mean, there is a trails until rails thought, but they say it won't be like a complete permanent thing, but I just don't really trust them, though. That's the thing. Um, um, and they're trying to get the Downeaster through here into Augusta if they can remove that gravel, in downtown. I don't think it would take too long, but still, um, pretty expensive, I would have to say. Yeah. Um, well, and if you, what are your thoughts on the Downeaster extensions? I mean, there is one to Lewiston, Auburn as well. Um, where is this? 503 and 518. Do you mean D01 in New Hampshire? If you're talking about those GP40-2 LWs. Um, um, pardon the sound in the background. Newfields, New Hampshire. Oh, okay. Yeah, then that would be D01. Yes. Um, yes, I hope Amtrak revives the lower road to Augusta as well. I mean, I'm not sure if this is true, but I also heard that CSX was talked to Pan Am, offered for Pan Am to reopen the lower road to get so they could get higher speed limits and get containers to Waterville, but Pan Am said no. So yeah, that's kind of shocking. Well, I'm not sure if that's really true though, but it's what I've heard. But it's possible like there's been a misunderstanding though, because I'm not sure if I believe the lower road was kind of more of a passenger route even back in the MEC days, meaning Main Central. Um, and the lower road is still currently in service between north of just north of Augusta in North Augusta. I think I can't pronounce this town's name well, but Valesabru. That's right at the edge of North Augusta, and continues at like maybe like 17 miles out to state and up to Waterville where it rejoins the back road. Um, and I believe it's used maybe once or twice a week, but only at night, unfortunately. When I used to live in Reedville along the back road, POWA, um, you don't like the idea of the Downeaster extension, there would be, let me see, well, what did that say again? Um, 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 I don't like the idea of the Downeaster extension. There'll be a lot less trains each day, which means a long time to wait for different trains. Rockport is really far away from Brunswick. Well, actually, it's Rockland. Um, Rockport is in Massachusetts, or were they? I'm not sure, but were they talking about bringing it to Rockport, Massachusetts? If you mean that, but I think you mean Rockland, Maine. Um, I believe they would probably add more trains, even if they extended the Downeaster, because, I mean, yeah, that's okay. And oh, hey Mid Kansas Rail fan, how you doing? Um, this is my first live stream. So anyways, yeah. And the lower road where it terminates in North Augusta, I believe. Yes, it makes more sense. Yeah. And it terminates. I believe. It's a Sive and Steel Yard. Um, I have a picture of it. I wish I could show you, but um, I can't screen share though. Like I said, unfortunately. Um, so what? So I've been wondering. Do you guys, any of you, know of any railroads that have been, shut down and taken over by or not at least shut down, but taken over by another company because of some problems and a crisis? Any one of you know that? I know about the Santa Fe, yes, though, but only that really that I know of, and Pan Am. Any of you know of any other railroads that have been taken over by other big companies? Southern Pacific was taken by Union Pacific. Um, I, I did hear about that, but I don't really have a lot of information about it. I really should probably need to look into that. Um, there was also this thought about, I believe, Kansas City Southern. I don't have much information about that railway either, but it decided to no, CP decided to take over that as well, or at least maybe merge with it somehow. Um, so yeah, and I believe um, Kansas City and Southern and CP are currently merging. Yeah, yeah, the merger's been trying to happen for quite a while now. I believe it's finally starting to happen. Um, just like it's actually taken since the during the fall of 2020 until the spring of 2022 for CSX to be able to take over Pan Am, because the STB kept either declining or disapproving, because let me see, yeah, um CSX wants to upgrade the speed limits, um I think to at least 40 on District 1, if I'm right. And I believe at the time that's why they ran an MPO and PONM back in the day. because yeah, it was Northern Main Junction to Portland trains and Portland to Northern Main Junction trains. That's all the way. Northern Main Junction is right next to Bangor in Herman, and that's 130 miles. And found out they don't run anymore because the speed limit dropped, and also because it takes three crews to get 130 miles, and it could take four because what I do know is that they would have to take that means they would have to take one crew to Leeds Junction in Leeds, where it's supposed to off to the Rumford branch. Um, Two, they would then those the next crew at Leeds Junction would take it to Waterville Yard. Then they would take it to possibly stop at Pittsfield for another crew, but doesn't I don't think it always happens though. And then take it all the way to um another main junction. Pan Am locomotives have been pairing more on CSX and NS lines. Well, I can see why actually, because yeah, they moved Pan Am moved their OCS FP9As out. I'm not sure their current location. I'll have to look that up, but they moved them out. And yes, a while ago now, a couple of months ago, they uh, Pan Am moved their SD40 um 600 units. No, not 600 total, but like in the 600 series. That would be 600, 604. 606. 606 is pretty cool actually because it's one of the snoot noses. It has a longer nose from the cab. It was actually a pretty cool one, and it had a cool horn as well. It echoed very nicely. Um, and then there was 619, which is an SD40M-2. Kind of like 3405. 3405 is still around here. It's It used to be 616, just in case some of you didn't know. Yeah, they pushed those out to Ohio, um, for LTEX, I think it's called. Yeah. Um, Not sure what their future is though. Anyways, also, and speaking of the lower road, which I did do, sorry to keep changing the subject, but I want to mention that there's also kind of like the same thing going on with the Mountain Division. I'm not sure if you, well, I'm sure probably maybe some of you that are going to watch this have heard of that line. The Mountain Division. It goes from Portland through Westbrook all the way to North Conway, and and that line. It's really sad it's gone. It's a very scenic line. Well, it's still in use, kind of. There's a Conway Scenic Railroad, from North Conway down to Conway and also up through the mountains, New Hampshire, to Berlin, I think. Um, and at the border, I believe the from the border of New Hampshire until Westbrook, the line is out. Let me see. Did you say some? They'll probably jump around leasing companies until they get scrapped. I'm not. It's possible they'll get scrapped. Yeah, because Pan Am scrapped a lot of their EMDs, but I'm not sure. Chances are kind of like with the C40-8s. I'd say, like, from what I was told, chances are they'll go to Ohio or maybe Baltimore, before getting scrapped. Anyways, the Mountain Division, yeah, there's a trail right next to it. Um, it's kind of sad to see that one gone too. Um, any of you have I'm not sure if you guys know about the Mountain Division, but if you have anything to say on it or stuff? I mean, it's a pretty cool line. It Well, at least used to be. It's kind of sad. Well, I mean, the trail people want to rip it out for a trail too, but when they literally already got a trail along it. Um, I mean, they could put a trail still alongside the track, but um, some problems with some tracks would have to be making enough space, at least between the trail and the track, um, or it depends if it undermines the track. Because if that does, doesn't really make great, and especially for the Callus branch, that got removed mainly like maybe 10, 15 years ago. I am uncertain of the day, but I know it was closed down in the mid 1980s. It went from Bangor to Callus. Um, and almost the entire thing is a trail, and the thing is over 120 miles long. There's a few miles of it operating in Ellsworth as the Downey Scenic Road. I've been on it once last year. It was pretty fun ride, and there's a trail alongside it. Um and and west of there until Bangor, the track is still visible, but I don't know if it's but the thing is I just don't know if it's ever gonna be used again. That's the thing. It just sucks these days. I know it's not really up to me, but I really wish these lines could be used again. Doubtful as it is, I would want them revived really badly, especially for the Downeaster to go to Augusta. I really I just hope that can happen. It's really expensive though. However, I mean it is being looked at into right now. But they would have to maintain a lot of the track, or at least fix it, or even replace it. Especially with that bridge gone in Richmond. And they've recently removed the Madison branch, um, um, that which went from Fairfield to Madison, the mill. Um, actually saw some footage of before 2010 of trains you still using that line, and yeah, it's sad how many how a shit ton of lines. Pardon my language again, but a shit ton of lines. Um, yes, they are making the rest of the Madison branch into a trail. That's what I mentioned. That's what sucks about it, really. I mean, I know there's no. Well, I think I see why, because there's no, I guess no industry anymore. But I just feel like they should just be waited on just at least waited on for a while, because it hasn't been it hasn't been way too long since it was last used. Same for the lower road. It's only been last used since 2008. The Mountain Division, however, I believe was and the Callus branch both have been like the 80s or 90s. And the Callus branch definitely the 80s, but Mountain Division I believe maybe 90s. I'm uncertain about that one. I got to find more information about that line. There's also the St. Lawrence and Atlantic line number 2 from Auburn to Portland, which is the other line that goes down from the back road, goes through Yarmouth Junction, and then to the bridge in Portland, which is twisted to let boats through, and where the old narrow gauge railroad is still used for tourists along the waterfront. And there's a track a mile long track in downtown. Goes along a park, and even near the Sea Dogs Field, the track is um yeah, yes, it's sinking to the ground, rotting away. I think they want to turn that into a trail too, especially in the St. Lawrence and Atlantic line number 2. Um, so I mean, well, I don't really mind about the line um to the second line to Auburn, or really the line to Portland though, because since that piece in downtown Portland is only a mile long, um I guess probably maybe no one will miss it really. Um and this is one more cool thing I've actually realized about the lower road really. Uh there's also this trestle in Gardner um, that has never been removed. It hasn't been you. This trestle has not been used since 1985, 86. It branched off from the lower road where the Kennebec River Rail Trail starts to move away from the track toward Hanford today. That used to be where the switch was. Now the switch is gone, of course. And up on the hill near Hanford, that's where the track went up. It went through downtown Gardner, and into the trestle along the Cobbossee Stream. The track to the trestle has been removed. The tracks on the trestle and maybe a feet and like maybe like 50 feet off the trestle is still visible though. I saw it once. I took a couple pictures of it in January of this year. I just didn't dare go on it though since there was snow on it. It was probably weakened and rotting. I don't know how weak it is really. I hear the trestle itself is fine, but I just do not dare go on it. Even though I went on this short bridge along the lower road in Farmingdale, though, because it's not that long, and it hasn't been that long since it's been last used. Um, so any one of you, I'm sorry if I'm talking a little fast. I really need some. I just had a soda, but I probably need some coffee or something. So any of you have any thoughts about these unused corridors or lines in Maine, or do any of you have a favorite or unused rail corridor that you guys like? Wait, actually, hold on a second. I think, well, I did print some pictures out. I'm gonna see if I have a picture of that trestle I just talked about. Um, hold on, hold on here just for a second. So yeah, I printed out a lot of pictures over here. Um, Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so yeah. I'm gonna try to find it. Coming. Um, um, I got one picture here of the with the switchboards. Aha. Here it is. Got it. Alright, coming right back. Sorry about that. Alright, so did anybody type in the chat or anything? Nope. Okay. So as I was saying, this is the Main Central Cobbossee branch of the lower road. This trestle has not been used since the mid 1980s, unlike the lower road main line itself, which has not been used since 2008, at least. This trestle is, I measured it. I think it's a little over 300 feet long. It crosses the Cobbossee Stream. And this along the lower road is, I took this, yeah. This is from October of 2021. This is where the switch once was, and also there's a location of a great picture by Tom Field of a rail excursion that went up to Bangor from. Hey there, how's it going? How you doing? And this went from Boston to Bangor, and then they used the back road, which was a slow ride the entire way, he mentioned. Then they took the lower road back down, that track back down through, and they said the train went a lot faster on the lower road. I'm okay right now. Thanks. So yeah, the unused corridors yeah, they are falling apart, but they have so much history of, maybe good lives, especially since this line near me has lighter grades. I just don't know what will happen with the unused rail corridors. It's just like I'm no professional at all, but it's just sad these days. Like even though they call them rail trails. Um, these are glasses. They I actually kind of thought they looked weird myself when I got them. My dad and mom and dad got them for me. I'm like, what the hell are these? I'm gonna look like a clown in these. But eventually, people started complimenting me at school on them, so I just kept them on. And since if I smash my face into something, since these lenses don't really break, they're not made of glass. They're like hard, really hard plastic. So I'm just gonna wear them. That's the thing. Um, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can find any pictures of. Let me see. LOL is kind of correct. Yes. Um, Hold on, let me see if I can find one picture of the. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna. I'm now gonna show you some pictures I have printed out and photographed in the last year or so, even last year. Let me see if I can put the phone up correctly. I can only show in this position. It won't let me face it sideways. It pisses me off though. Okay, let me see. So this is the Sappy 3 local with since well it by Pan Am Railways, which is now of course owned by CSX, which is kind of a good thing. Let me see. I'm gonna take that. It takes since there's so many papers here. It takes a minute to pick up. Um, okay. I got two copies. I just don't want them to get lost though. This is I took this in last month in July. This was them just getting outside of the mill. Number 307. 307 is a GP40 built back in the I believe 1967. Um, and it used to have a pretty cool RS5T horn, but it's just well not as great as the 381s though, in my opinion at least. Is there NS in Maine? No. There is Norfolk Southern in New England though, which is Maine is in New England. They have Norfolk Southern in Massachusetts though, where they meet with CSX, the MBTA, more Amtrak, and let me see. Um, Sorry, crazy neighbors. This is the same day. This at a different location called Shawmut though. Um, I would take a trip to Massachusetts then, but the thing is, I'm unable to travel that much, and I'm just gonna. But however, I am starting to learn to drive though, so I'm hoping once I get my permit next year, I'm hoping I can drive myself all the way to Massachusetts. Um, in fact, tomorrow I'm actually going to be driving myself to the trains in Waterville, so I can catch this train on the Sappy 3. So yeah. But I haven't been able to go to Massachusetts for a while now. You can know, ever since like the COVID stuff started. Well, I'm not like really scared of it or anything, but um, thing is, I just don't really want to wear a mask on public transportation. No, but I'm not sure if Amtrak's still requiring masks, but I have to look into that. But if they are, I just don't really like wearing masks. That's the thing. I mean, I have no problem if it's like just an hour, but the Amtrak trips, I've taken down the Boston are 3.5 hours, and especially on they're doing the same stuff on the buses. I'm not to offend opinions or anything. If you guys feel the same with Mass, but for me, it's just not great. That's all. Okay, now I'm gonna place those right there. This is the Amtrak down Easter in July. No, June of last year. Sorry. In Freeport, Maine, heading south towards Boston. This is a NPCU. It was once an F40PH until it had its motor removed. Now it's used as a cab unit, and it features also a baggage section right behind the cab. So they're now called cabbages, which is pretty cool. Okay. And see, here's the Sappy 3 again. This time is just about to not even a minute from Waterville Yard, with number 381 in the lead. And believe me when I say 381's, probably not everybody thinks this, but in my opinion, 381's RS5T is so awesome. It well was. It still has an RS5T, but this one just last week it got it replaced with another one. Well, number 378's old one, 378 engine 378 is scrapped now. But it sounds pretty awesome. They kind of sound the same, not completely, but yeah. But the RS5T that it did have was absolutely insane. Insane, I tell you, insane. Let me see. So this is also the Sappy 3 on my birthday, September 23rd of last year when I turned 15. This is taken by my GoPro on the ripped up siding next to it. This is number 350 leading, which is also a GP40. And 350 also wears an RS5T. There's only a few engines on the former Pan Am that have RS5Ts. There's plenty of Leslie horns, just not RS5Ts, that's all. Did you say something, Ryan? My man, be careful when you drive. I'm a header. See ya. Alright then, see ya, Ryan. Yeah, I totally get them. And this is, let me show you. This is MEC. This is, I'm not sure if you can see, but this is, number 606, which is the SD40-2 I was talking about. I took this, on April 5th of last year. I caught it out of luck. It was heading light through Reedfield, heading toward Auburn, to be used as the switching unit. Yeah, and it's cool because it's the Snoob, or Snoop. It's funny because it's called that, Snoob. And this is also the Sappy 3. There's a lot of Sappy 3 photos I've got. It's one of my favorite ones, though. It's also called the Happy Sappy. It could be called that because it's easy to catch, but I doubt it. Really, that's what I used to think, but I kind of doubt it. I think it's because sometimes one of the crew members calls it that when he calls the dispatcher. Anyways, here's GP40 number 351 leading in December last year. 351 also wears an RS5T, but it is not, to be honest, I mean, it works. It sounds like maybe a proper RS5T, but I hear only two of the chimes do not work. So it is not really as good as 381s or 350s. I'm gonna be honest. Here's number 7 C40-8, which is kind of a blob to me. Number 7542 in Reedfield, Maine, which is leading POWA, which is normally a nocturnal train. But they come in the daytime whenever they're when they're delayed. And right behind it, you can't see in the picture. I couldn't get a clear shot of it, but it was had St. Lawrence and Atlantic SC40-2 number 3403 leading. No, trailing. Sorry. Um, um, and Pan Am has an SE40-2 number 3403. It's kind of funny that it was having two 3403s at the time. A lot of people out there. This is RUPO in June of last year. RUPO stands for Rumford to Portland Main Train. RU stands for Rumford. PO stands for Portland. And this surprisingly, this branch, the Rumford branch that goes from Leeds to Rumford, cannot handle engines that have 6 axles or more. It can only handle the Jeeps, the GP40 series. This is GP40-2LW number 509 leading. It has a very nice horn, very lovely. And they're passing through the Coster's grain facility in Leeds. They're only allowed to go 10 miles an hour on that line. And here are the 2 of the 600 units sitting in Rigby Yard in South Portland before they were moved out to Ohio. I got quite a lot more. I think I probably might have to go in a minute, but I'll try to show as many as I can real quick. Here is the Sappy 3 again, this time, and with MEC 381 in the lead, moving through Fairfield near Waterville. I'm not sure if you can see it, but here you go. And here's engine number 313 leading one of the PO locals by the end of July in 2020, moving through Forest Avenue in Portland, moving north towards Brunswick. 326 was right behind. And at that time, like I mentioned about the 307's new horn, you can look up closely, it still had that 313 still had its old fouled horn at that time. Hey Oreo, this is my cat Oreo. Sorry about that. And here is 307, which I was just talking about. At the switching with PORU, Portland to Rumford train. Wait a minute. When I mentioned when I mentioned a picture I just showed you about number 509, did I accidentally say PORU or did I say RUPO? If I did say PORU in that picture, I meant RUPO. If I did say that, my apologies. Here is PORU with MEC 307 doing some switching at the DeCoster's facility in Leeds in February of 2020. It was a really snowy day that day. It was bad weather, but managed to get out there. And here is a switcher with MEC 351 in Waterville in April of this year. I'll move my hand a little. This was taken at my school. I took this at my school in June this year of POWA moving through Belgrade, which is on the other side of the lake. My school's in Sydney, but I'm at my school right now near the cafeteria watching it go by. I have to say it's a pretty nice view for a school. I'm glad I'm going to the school. And here is PORU again, this time with GP40-2LW number 515 in the lead, moving through Green, Maine on May 7th of this year. Here's the Happy Sappy again. On April 21st of this year with number 310 in the lead. This is the trestle just south of the Hinkley Mill. Hold on, my thing paused. Sorry about that. If it paused. Yeah, they were moving over the trestle nice and slow. It's a 10-mile-an-hour limit. Here is the Sappy again, this time with MEC 381 again, in pulling into Waterville Yard in November. No, I think it was November 16th, if that's what it says. Yeah, November 16th. Here is the 381 again, and on RUPO on October 4th, 2021, which is last year, moving through Blue Rock Road in Leeds, Maine, near the junction. This was taken by my GoPro on the hill. So I am not sure if you can see it, but way down here, right down there, I think that's me. Not sure if you can see it. If you see a person right there, I think that's me. Yeah, that's me, because me and my parents were the only people there, so it's obvious, really. And here's 381 again. How to say though, 381 is a really nice engine, to be honest. This time a front view of the Sappy 3 at Shawmut. I think this was December 7th, 2021. I only got a couple more. I'm almost done. Here's another picture of my birthday of last year. 350 again, moving through Shawmut. Surprisingly, this is the first day I got to see it back in action because I never caught it on camera before, and it was a nice engine. I'm glad it came back from the deadline. It's kind of, sorry if it's kind of dark in here. Do you want me to turn on the lights, anyone? I'd be happy to do that a little. Here is a picture of January of this year, of the wreck train moving through Belgrade, the Hammond Lumber Company in Belgrade. They were, a couple days before, they were helping a derailed, I'm not sure what it was carrying, but I think it was propane. The freight train was carrying down to Saco, and that derailed, had an accident, so they went down to help them, and now they're on their way back to Waterville in this picture. It had B40-8 number 5973. Here is Amtrak Downeaster number 681 with the Heritage P42DC number 108 in the lead, moving through Forest Avenue in Portland, Maine, bound back for Brunswick. I think this was, March 7th. Here is PORU with, it's passing through the DeCoster's grain facility with GP40-2LW number 503 in the lead. And it's a good shot I was able to get. The Rumford branch, even though one train a day, it's a fun place to see trains. Here is W8PO, which is Waterville to Portland train, in July 6th. Okay, yep, July 6th, 2021. In the pitch black dark, moving through one of the private roads. I think it's Packard Shores Road in Reedfield. This was almost midnight. I can't imagine what how people feel like living right next to tracks when they're trying to sleep at night. To be honest, here is GP40-2, number 345. That's an awesome engine. It has an nice K5LA as well and looking sharp. It was leading RUPO through Blue Rock Road in Leeds, Maine on August 8th, 2021. Let me see if we can see it. Here is a picture of, I'm almost done here. Let me see. Wow, it's been almost an hour now. Here is number 3402, SD40-2, number 3402, with NMWA, which is Northern Maine Junction to Waterville train, moving through Fairfield right before reaching Waterville Yard on 11/16/2021. Let me see if we can see it though. I probably didn't show it good enough. I was actually not expecting them to come while I was waiting for the Sappy, but I guess since they're a mainline train, they just decided maybe to let these guys go first. Here is GP40 number 381 again on the Sappy job, moving through Fairfield in the same spot where the NMWA was, this time on November 9th, 2021. It was a nice day to be out though. A little while later, I got a report of the OCS leaving Waterville, but I missed it. But hey, this is good enough. And plus, I had to go to Skowhegan to get my instrument, so my bass clarinet. All right, so looks like this is the last picture. This is number 3400 with its god awful K5 LLA moving through Reedfield on August 30th, 2020. To the Reedfield Depot. Both WAPO and POWA ran that day. This one is leading POWA. They both ran in that day. It was kind of nice to see them in the day since it's normally a nocturnal event, like I mentioned. All right, so I think that's all my pictures. I'll talk for one more minute, then I probably gotta get going. Do any of you have any questions for me, like you want me to answer or are curious about? Any questions? I've seen the Calus branch. I mentioned it earlier in this live stream. I have never got any pictures of it, but well, I have, but on the Down East Scenic Railroad. But like, if you're talking about any abandoned parts, then no, because most of the line is abandoned now and ripped out for a trail. Any other questions? Are we all good? Thank you for the nice compliment. Nice pictures. Thank you. All right, so it now just turned 1 hour since I've started, and I am probably gotta get going. But thanks for the people who did join, and I'll try to do a live stream at some point again. See you soon, and stay tuned.